Stay tuned to the end of this video because I'm going to show you how to contact over 1 million ready to buy e-commerce brands for extremely cheap and in a completely automated fashion. So no more manual Instagram or TikTok outreach or spending tons of money on ads or even guessing games with acquiring e-commerce leads. I'm going to show you exactly how to reach these brands through email and again, for extremely cheap and completely automated. So with that being said, let's just jump into it. All right, perfect. So how to find high ticket ecom clients in 2025. So just as a preface or just before we get into the meat of the video, I just want to kind of show our past work just to prove we know what we're talking about as far as generating leads for e-commerce brands. This is one of our clients. He owns a TikTok shop acquisition, company where he helps, you market through TikTok, and then he builds a TikTok store, whatever it is. At the end of the day, we were contacting e-commerce brands for him, booked him 43 extremely qualified calls within 72 hours, closed a bunch of deals. And again, that's one client. This client does email marketing for e-commerce brands. So whether you do that or again, just at the end of the day, all these clients were targeting e-commerce brands. So again, 9 extremely qualified calls for him. Again, closed a few deals. Again, same thing for here. This company owns a logistics, it's a marketing agency, but e-commerce marketing agency, but they do work with logistics and the inventory with a bunch of other e-commerce companies, and they help them with that. Again, booked very, very qualified calls for this person. So again, just some more proof. Again, these are all e-commerce brands you can check out. 30 calls for this specific client booked in a very short time frame. You can see this is between less than a 3-month engagement. Right here, 44 book calls for another client. Right here, this is just like the Slack messages we have. Another client. Boom. Let's move forward with your 10K a month package. Perfect. Another client here. This could be a huge deal. Let's get it going. Performance deal, closed them 50% revenue. Again, giant brand. He closed them on. Again, closed deal, closed deal, closed deal. And you can kind of see from this that, again, we know what we're talking about. So with that being said, don't want to go into that too much, but let's get into the specifics on, our process. Hey guys, we'll get right back into the video. But if you're looking for a predictable and scalable cold email outbound solution that's going to book you tons of calls into your calendar, well, I have an offer for you. We just helped our client Morty from NBX Now close 30 deals in just 90 days for his event management agency. We also helped Jay book 43 calls in just 72 hours for his e-commerce marketing agency. And we have a lot more great case studies on our website as well if you want to check that out. Now, if you're looking to skip all these steps of worrying about deliverability, email scripts, lead list building, and all the things like that, and just want a done-for-you solution provided to you to incorporate into your company, book in a time down below with my team, and we'll see if we'd be a good fit. And with that being said, I'll see you there. So first off is going to be the old way. So this is the way that you've probably done it before internally with your company, whether it was you doing this or you're passing on to a virtual assistant. It's the, old kind of, it could be current for you as well, but it's the manual outreach way. So you'd probably go on Instagram or TikTok or any other social media platform, make a list on Google Sheets. Possibly I've heard some other people, they kind of look at the owners of these brands on Google, try to find them and kind of assume what their email is. But again, that's not very useful just because like for this person, it could be Jack, but it could be Jack.m or Jack.whatever or M.Jack. It could be literally anything. So it's not useful at scale. And again, you could have also, you're probably also, DMing them through, Instagram, TikTok. And again, it's just not useful. It's just not worth your time. Again, people sit here and they do our old clients or clients, prospects before they became clients. They were sitting here and they were doing, 5 to 10 emails or DMs per day, and it just was not working. They would sign one client maybe a month if they got lucky. But now we're sending thousands and thousands of emails every single day to their exact ICP through email, and for extreme cheap. And again, it's extremely high leverage because we're sending out tons of emails and getting them in contact with their ideal customers. So with that being said, let's just get into it. So the best way I think I can explain this, and the most easy way to explain it is going to be what we did for a past client. This is actually conveniently this client right here that we helped him close a lot of deals. So again, I'll just go over his campaign, what we did for him, the setup, kind of his offer, and kind of the steps we took to actually get him those closed deals. Now, overall, what this client is he offers a growth partner service to e-commerce companies. So whether that be email marketing, paid ads, acquisition systems, CRO, the whole 9 yards. He does that internally at his company. But what he's noticed from past marketing efforts, like whether he's done through paid ads or whatever, a big thing, a big value driver was generating ad creatives for his prospects. And that worked always consistently very well through every marketing effort. So what we did is we did that through email. Now we positioned the overall offer as, we generate, we generate ad creatives and we send it to you every single Monday to these e-commerce brands, whether we provide it to these e-commerce brands for completely free or a free trial or on performance. No matter what it was, the end the end offering was the ad creatives, because it was very, very valuable to these people. And then we would come in, he would get on a sales call with the people. He would say, hey, I know you want ad creatives. What if we do your CRO, your email marketing, your paid ads? And then he would convert a lot of customers through that. So that's kind of the positioning we had there. Again, that's kind of something that if you want to take internally, whether you're working with e-commerce companies or you have e-com clients, I would definitely try out that angle, or at least research some other companies or competitors doing that angle and kind of just steal it. So that's pretty useful. So now let's get into the actual setup of the overall offering. So with email accounts, so obviously number one with email, you have to buy email accounts, right? That's where you're going to be sending the emails from. You'd probably, whether you've done cold email before or you're new to it, email accounts are very, very expensive. So what we do, instead of spending $7.20 a Google account, we spend $1.95. Now you might be asking yourself, how do you do that? We use a provider called Cheap Inboxes. So Cheap Inboxes is a reseller. Not to go into too much about what they are, essentially what their company does is they buy email accounts at bulk and they sell them for cheaper. So, whether they spend a couple $1,000s on tons of email accounts, instead of selling it for $720, they sell it for $195 and you get it at a steep discount. Now, at public, it's about $2.95 per account. So and it's still decently cheap. So it's 250. And again, if you start at the $3 per account, if you get, not anything less than 100 inboxes. But if you do join Elite Academy, which is our private coaching program, we have an internal referral program type affiliate thing where, you get it for a lot cheaper. So it's like, 60 cents cheaper. So it's like $1.90, or it's $1.95 an account. But again, right, when you're buying hundreds of email accounts, it starts to add up. So that's kind of how that is. And again, for our clients as well, it's even cheaper than the $195. But again, that's just for our internal clients. So that being said, that's what I would do, right? That's what we do, is we buy our email accounts through Cheap Inboxes. Again, very, very cheap, very affordable. And as far as deliverability goes, it's very, very good. We've tested it a bunch with all of our clients. So number one, purchase your email accounts. Now, number two is going to be which sending platform you're going to send off of. Now, there are, a few popular sending tools. There's Smartly.ai, there's Instantly.ai, and there's a lot of these sending tools that you've probably heard of. And again, we've had a lot of bad experiences with these sending tools. And again, not to go too much into it, but when you're sending from Smartly or Instantly, you're not going to land in the inbox as much as you want. And again, the reason why is because you're sharing an IP with a lot of other people that are also sending malicious and spammy emails. So if you want to actually get an ROI with email and you want to book in a lot of calls and close a lot of deals, you need to be sending from a trusted sending tool. So there is a sending tool. It's called Email Bison. And essentially what it is, it's a private sending tool, which is what we use internally for our clients and things like that. If you are a company just trying to start out, do request a demo, talk with the team. They might or might not let you in just because there is a qualification process, but hopefully they do let you in. If they don't, just let me know and I'll kind of hopefully be able to vet you as a company, and then hopefully talk with the founder and get you in. But again, I'll put that link down below as well. But yeah, Email Bison, they're a very, very trusted group. And as I said, not to go too much into the IPs and stuff like that, it becomes a lot easier to land an inbox when you're not sharing an IP with tons of other people, thousands of other people that are sending malicious emails. So again, right, that's kind of, if you want to scale and you want to close a lot of deals, you're going to have to use a private sequencer. So that's that. And I also have a video here if you want to go into kind of the difference between each of them, the pricing, the structure, the utilities, the API access, stuff like that. If you do want to understand more of that, do watch that video. So that's that. Now, the second thing, and one of the most important things I'm sure you're waiting on this video to see, is going to be leads. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build out a mock lead list just to show you what it would look like, right? Just for this client. So this specific client, he wanted to contact self-care e-commerce brands to start out. Now, what I would do is I'd come to a software called Store Leads. Again, it's $250 a month. If you do not want to pay for that, you could also, again, join our, cold email coaching program. It's also included into here. It's completely free. It's, we use our account and you kind of just scrape through our account. And again, we have a full software built out for it. So again, that's just the benefit of that. But that being said, I would go here and I would make a list. I would go to, let's just say, self-care. So it would be beauty and fitness, face and body care. All right. Now that I have that, I'm going to go ahead and click export. Again, as I mentioned, right, $250 a month. If you do want to get access to it, we have Lead Academy, which is $99 a month. You get a bunch of stuff, but you also get this for this included. So that's that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to open up a Google Sheet and I'm going to import this list that I just made. So let me do that. There you go. So I'm going to open up this list and you can kind of see all the leads that we just pulled from Store Leads. Let's give this just 1 second. It should populate now. There you go. So this is a list of about, should be 130,000 roughly, 125,000 leads. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these leads and I'm going to find the emails because again, right, we're going to be contacting these people through email. Now you're going to come to a software called Apollo.io. Apollo.io, in the short, is basically a database software that gives you access to, over 200 million leads. And you can kind of source this, or you can kind of source the leads through there, source the emails. Now I'm going to select the first 7,000 emails or first 7,000 domains, and I'm going to go to Apollo. Now I'm going to go to the companies tab and I'm going to fit in here and press save and search. So out of these 7,000 companies, Apollo has access to 5.6K, so almost 6,000 companies. Now you'll notice there's a lot of big companies like Avon with 74,000 employees. What you're going to do is you're going to want to, filter by how many employees you want to, contact in, your ICP. Again, just to keep this in mind, Apollo, it's completely free. You don't have to pay for it, the subscription. You can just get a trial. I have 11 days left in this trial. Once it cancels, you can kind of just make a new account. But then you would pretty much just go and kind of define your ICP. So I would probably want to do everyone in North America. For this specific offer, you want to do everyone in North America. He wanted to do everyone in the United Kingdom. He wanted to do everyone in Australia. So all the major English-speaking countries. I'll just do that for now. So out of that, we have about 3,000 leads. And then what we're going to do is we're going to come over to the People tab, and we're going to get the decision maker contacts now. Now, again, we're going to click on verified just because that's going to give us access to all the leads Apollo actually has right now. And we're going to come over to the job titles. So, realistically, I'm going to want to get a hold and talk to the CEO. I'm going to want to get a hold of the founder. I'm going to want to get a hold of the owner of the company. Again, executive, anyone in the executive area. Let me spell that right. Executive. Right. I'm going to want to get a hold of everyone in the marketing because, again, he offers marketing services. So I'm going to do CMO or anyone in marketing, marketing, advertising. And I can kind of keep going, for a long time just to make this list. But just for the sake of this example, I'm just going to make it super quick. So we already have 2,600 leads here, and you can kind of see these are really qualified, leads. Like I can open up all of these, and these are going to be self-care brands just because of the database we picked before. Skin brand right here. These are extremely successful e-commerce brands that you can offer your services to. Self-care, makeup, self-care. So you can kind of understand from this the benefits of Apollo and kind of our data process. And, if you did manual outreach to contact 2.6 thousand people, it would literally take you months, right? Probably 3 months just to contact this. And I could do this in a matter of a day, right? Now, with this, if you ever seen Apollo, to actually scrape this data, it's very expensive. Now, what we do is we use a third-party scraper called Export Apollo. Very, very simple. You basically get this link right here. You come here, you put it in here, you give it a name, and it's going to scrape the list for extremely cheap. So I believe right here, instead of paying $400 for $400 for 10,000 leads, it's $48 for 10,000 leads. So almost 10 times cheaper. So definitely use that. And then from there, again, you would go to a software called Million Verifier. Again, I don't want to go too much into the technicals about this. If you want to see the technicals about how to do cold email and things like that, I have a video that I posted recently going over the full cold email course. But essentially what you would do is you would go and verify these leads, make sure they're all active and ready to buy leads. And then you would go ahead and move to the next step, which is going to be the email scripts. So once you have your data and everything's good, and again, I go over this more technically in this video, but once you have all of the data ready to go, you're going to want to build the email scripts. Now, with the email scripts, they were very simple, and that's kind of a big thing with cold email. You want to make your scripts as simple as possible, and not like 4 paragraphs where you're illustrating your offer. You just want to make a form of copy that's very easy to read, very easy to comprehend, and to convert the customer into or prospect into the customer. Now, this was it. So it would be like, hey, John, if we could send over new ad creatives every Monday using one of, and we'd script the company name. So one of, John's Cupcakes products, would you be open to a quick chat? We'd love to do this for the first 14 days completely free. And again, if you want to do that, convert. And then again, we just had in a PS line. PS, we helped, a competitor company generate 100K just from our work. Again, just throwing in a case study. So again, you can kind of see it's very simple, but this is a very, very big thing with cold email. You want to make the emails extremely relevant to the type of person that's going to be opening up the email. So, we're targeting e-commerce brands that are in the self-care niche. So if someone's opens up this email and says, okay, well, this is pretty valuable. I, do kind of want ad creatives, and I can have it for risk-free for the first 14 days. And they've done this before and generated hundreds of $1,000s for a competitor. Let's try this out. And you can kind of see from that psychology of why this works extremely well. Now, when you send out all the emails and you get the list of emails and you send the email scripts out to your prospects, you're going to want to set in the appointments for either you or your clients. Now, again, I just have a quick rundown on our musts and must not with appointment setting. So when the emails come in, whether you're using Email Bison or whether you're using Smartly or Instantly, these are kind of the things that you need to take account of in order to book in tons of calls. You want to make sure you're following up the prospects every 3 days. You want to provide value. Reply within 5 minutes. Your time to reply ratio needs to be on point. It should be less than 5 minutes, but that's like the bare KPI that we go with. We always want to push for a call. We don't really send Calendly links. We don't send any form of links. We just pitch a time so we can increase our deliverability without sending links, because links do kill your deliverability. Have clear next steps. Always have your conversations end with a call to action. Double check that the messages are sent properly. Double check that there's no spelling errors. And some must nots. Do not send links, any Cal links. Do not send any links that will kill your deliverability. Never thank someone for a reply. Never ignore their question. Never ask multiple questions. Never, give her the price over email, and all these things that, again, you can actually take this into your company and take our SOPs that I created for internally in my company, and you can just duplicate this and provide this to your team so you can understand the must and must nots with appointment settings. So that's kind of a cool little, thing you can use. That'll be in the link in the description coupled with this document. So that's pretty much that. So again, that's pretty much the end of this video. I just really wanted to cover how we're doing this for our client. I think it'll be extremely useful, especially for the companies that are targeting e-commerce brands that are just doing that manual outreach and that grunt work that is just super, super low leverage. You can send out thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of emails every single month and acquire your customers at scale. But if you do not want to deal with this and you just want leads provided to you on a silver platter, that's exactly what my company Borks does. So we offer a done-for-you cold email setup that essentially is the full A to Z with cold email. We take care of the leads, we take care of the email scripts, deliverability, things that go wrong, things that go in our way, not in our way, things like that, all done through us. All you have to do is just pick up the phone, take the sales call, and close the deal. So that's pretty much that. If you are looking for that, please do book in a call with our team down below. We can have a chat, see if you'd be a good fit. But if your business does make anything less than $500,000 a year, if you sell B2C, not B2B, if you sell anything that's OnlyFans or adult content, related, or just can't afford a fixed monthly retainer, then please do not book in a call. We are very firm on our ideal customer and who we work with. But that's pretty much it. So with that being said, if you did find this value, please leave a like down below, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.